All right, welcome back, everybody. Good morning, good morning. It's been a brief moment on the channel, but we are back, guys. We are back. Just gonna pull up chat here on my phone. I did not make an announcement this morning, so it's kind of going off the cuff. Also, not really a huge fan of price action this morning, but we're gonna go ahead and see. We're gonna wait around for PMI, which is happening at 10 o'clock today. So we'll see if anything comes of that. If not, we'll go ahead and just be on our merry way for the day, guys. But hopefully everybody's doing well. In my absence, I was seeing a lot of you guys posting wins. A couple of you guys have made it to the payout stage in some of your accounts, so that's beautiful to see. But we'll go ahead and hop into this analysis, guys. As we can see here, daily chart, we are, looks like, in the process of inverting this daily fair value gap here. So you can see this small fair value gap that we ended up retracing back into after sweeping all of these lows down here on the daily and weekly time frame. And we made our way back to that daily fair value gap. Now, just above that, you can see we do have a wick consequent encroachment that it looks like we're pricing to right now, and we also have a daily order block just above that. So I might go ahead and draw out this little wick area here. Sometimes these big wicks on, bearish order blocks, the midpoint of those do like to act as some type of resistance sometimes. So whenever I see it respecting, I always like to draw that out. They don't always respect, but as of now, you can see we've got some decent reaction off of that. And then we can also see, after sweeping this low last week, we've left two relative equal lows down here, but so far, we've been using that sweep to price back up on the weekly. Let's take a look at the 4-hour time frame here. This is why I was saying I'm not a huge fan of price action this morning, because whenever you see price take out buy side, we took out buy side here, and then take out sell side, obviously we swept that low, and then settle right in the middle of price. These are ICT's words, not mine. You tend to see lower probabilities. So we are going to stick around for PMI just to see if we inject any sort of volatility, but as of now you can see how small this range is right here. We're sort of caught between this 4-hour gap and this 4-hour gap. So expectation wise, not too high this morning, actually not too high at all this morning, but I thought I'd come on here just as a little refresher after being on vacation for a while and just to chat it up with you guys. And if we end up seeing anything obvious, then I may take a small position. I'm not going to be full risk today, just going to probably be half to a quarter risk just to get back in the swing of things. And I'm also working on these take profit accounts right now. So see what happens, guys. It's right around market open time. We got about 8 minutes. Hope everybody's doing well in the chat below. Say what's up if you're just logging in. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you. When will you be live daily? I've been kind of more picky and selective about my trading days, so not sure if I'll ever return to like daily live streams, but there will be weeks where I stream, every day. There will be weeks where I stream 4 times a week, 3 times a week, but there will also be days and weeks where I stream like 1 or 2 times just because of news or price action and things like that. But honestly, that's a more realistic lifestyle for a trader. It's not very common you see a very consistent trader on the charts every day, placing trades every day. The goal is to get to a point where you can be quite selective with your trades. Also going to mark out this fair value gap right here on the 15-minute that it appears we're inverting right now. As you can see right here, guys, inverting this fair value gap. At least it appears that we'll be inverting. So we'll see if that closes past there. If so, it would make sense for us to go ahead and take London low. What is this PDA here? Oh yeah, that was the wick. So you see we priced up there, we hit both the wick and we hit London high, and ever since we've been pricing lower. So we'll see if we can make it down to that London low. Looks like it may want to reach for it. We also got a small fair value gap on the 1 hour right there. And then we have that 4 hour gap down here. Keep in mind though as well, we also have a 4 hour order block. So we have not yet seen it close past that 4 hour order block quite yet. I'm going to be waiting till PMI to start looking for positions. Just because it's looking a little crowded here on the charts going into NYSE Open. So you can see how small that 4 hour range is, guys. So what I need to see is either us respect this order block and make an effort to run higher, then I can maybe look to either take some sells off of these levels or take some buys up into these levels, or I need to wait for a break of this order block so that we can maybe target London low, maybe even target a deeper retracement. But we've got to be sure that price is ready to move, just because whenever it gets crowded like this, like I said, ICT advises us to wait for it to leave the range. Whenever we sweep a high, buy side, a low, sell side, and settle in the middle, you can expect some sort of consolidation profile. Mohammed, how's it going? How's it going, my brother from Algeria? Good to see you. Good to see you, brother. A little bit tired, guys. Just flew in last night. Landed around 10 p.m. So still waking up, but it's probably going to be a short session today. Also, when I was gone, it was quite interesting to see this huge drop. Of course, I was absent for this, but huge break of structure to the downside. So it will be interesting to see if we start to get some bearish price entering into this month of August, or if we just continue to run through these levels and make a new all-time high. So far, we have started August off to a bearish start as far as the higher time frames go. Looks like we'll be inverting this 15-minute fair value gap here, guys. We've got that 4 hour fair value gap down here. But we've also got London low down here as well. So we'll see what kind of price action we encounter down there. We've also got PMI at 10 o'clock, guys. Keep that in mind. Let's see. We've got market open here in just 1 minute. So far going into market open, I'm not really seeing anything aside from maybe a run for London low if we want to get down there. Would make sense if it inverts this 15-minute fair value gap for it to run down there. But we don't necessarily have anywhere to tee off of it unless you were in at the sweep of London high and possibly the sweep of this high right here. So aside from that, there's not really any other place to really enter that. We did invert this 15-minute fair value gap. So we'll see if that holds, if it respects that level. Looks like it will. Looks like we'll be getting that run for London low now. Some nice little reach for London low going into market open, guys. Nice little reach there. We're reaching into that 4-hour fair value gap right now. I'll probably reach for consequent encroachment at the least. And if we're feeling extra bearish going into market open, we may even want to reach for either the midpoint of this IFVG down here, which would be right there, or even this fair value gap. Probably not this fair value gap right away, but we may reach for consequent encroachment of the other 4-hour gap. So we'll just have to see. And we may even just find support here. Appreciate it, D3S. Good to see you as well. Has been a while. Apologies for the absence. But you know, as traders, we do have to, get out and live a little bit of life sometimes too. So, was gone a little bit longer than I wanted to be. The time zones where I was at was just not ideal for trading. In Hawaii, it's 6 hours behind Eastern Standard Time. So that would be like waking up at 3 a.m. to trade New York, and I just wasn't going to do that. But it is good to be back. We'll see what August has to bring. Honestly, like September through December is probably one of my favorite times to trade. August can sometimes be a little rough, but as of now, it's been moving pretty decent. So, see what we can accomplish this August. My goal by the end of the year, guys, is to be completely off of prop firms. So if I can be completely off of prop firms entirely by the end of this year, or at least have the option to never trade prop again, that would probably be the goal. Not that I don't love prop firms, but at this stage of my trading, it's time for me to move on. And maybe just trade prop on my, half risk days or whenever I'm not feeling it on my main account. You can see, guys, we're still pricing lower as of now. We found some good respect of London low. We do have like a slight daily order block. I mean, it barely closed past it, but it is a daily order block nonetheless. I'm not sure if it'll reach down there, but it is a possibility. Gonna mainly pay attention to see how this 4-hour candle closes though. Because if we close past this order block, it would make sense for us to do a little deeper retracement. If not, it may make sense for us to reach for some of these daily levels. but we just swept London low, a 4-hour low, and a 4-hour fair value gap. So we'll see if anything comes out of that. So far we're respecting this 1 minute fair value gap pretty well though, towards the downside. I want to see a reach for this consequent encroachment and then see what kind of reaction we get from there. And of course we have PMI at 10 o'clock, guys. So as of now, just sitting back being patient. I was contemplating a pre-market sell into London low, which in this case it ended up playing out. But I'm also trying to be a lot more selective, a lot more strict on my positions, especially on these take profit accounts, because there's 5 of them together and I don't necessarily need every trade. In fact, I don't need most trades on these accounts. If I can take 1 to 2 huge runs per week, that's pretty much all I need on these accounts. You can see we're getting a little bit of consolidation here on the lower time frame. 15 minute, still looking very bearish. Does make sense for it to reach a bit lower, maybe like 1 or 2 15-minute candles before we can retrace, especially going into PMI. So we may see it hang around here for a little bit. You can see we're pulling back in now. We'll see if it's just temporary. Like I said, sometimes it just likes to hang out here for a little bit, mark some time. Especially when there's news at 10 a.m. I've realized that unless you're sweeping an 8:30 data high or something like that, you can't really expect a massive run off of NYSE Open. It's more likely that it'll do a small run or a medium-sized run going into NYSE Open, and then it'll kind of mark time until PMI. And then it'll either finish the run or it will run in the other direction. So that's kind of to be expected during a PMI day or any day where you have news at 10 a.m. And it looks like we're inverting that gap to the upside right now. We don't necessarily have a clear drawn liquidity to the upside though, as we've already purged London high. Unless we're going for the daily drawn liquidity, and in that case I'd rather see us close a bullish 15-minute candle first. And we'd also have a massive stop loss. So unless we retrace and form some sort of 2022 model right here, probably just be patient. Especially as this 15-minute candle has not yet closed yet. So this would be one of the scenarios where I would want to wait for that closure. And it would also be good because then we would have a clearer idea if this 4-hour order block is going to be respected. So right now I need a little bit more information. It's looking good, but I need it to look great for me to tee off on it. And we're probably going to stick around for PMI, guys, but if I don't see anything within like the first maybe 5 minutes of the release, I'm going to be signing off. Like I said, going into today, I wasn't the hugest fan of price action going into today, so gonna look to sit through PMI for a couple minutes, and if nothing comes, we're just gonna be on our merry way, guys. We have a lot of days left in the week, so more particularly interested in Thursday's trading. And part of being a more advanced trader is filtering opportunity. So letting mediocre or even good opportunities pass so you can just wait for the great opportunities, or the A+ setups as some people like to call them. It's a very hard thing to do. It's actually probably much harder to sit through a okay or a good setup and let it pass than it is to sit through just price action moving randomly. Because when it's moving randomly, you're like, oh, well, I can't do anything anyways. There's not going to be any confirmation anyways. But when you see like a good confirmation on the lower time frame, but you're just iffy about intraday or higher time frame price, or just time in general as it pertains to news events lining up with your position, those are very hard to sit out of. Because you're like, I know that there's at least a maybe 50 or greater % chance that this plays out and I miss out. But there's also a chance that you just get wicked out, or you take a loss, or you sit through a position that just chops back and forth on you, and then you just wasted equity. And then you see A+ set up the next day, and now you don't have the proper equity to risk on it. So it's a concept that even I still to this day sometimes have trouble with. But my goal moving into the end of this year is to only tee off on those A+ setups. If I could take 1 to 2 trades a week and just take home the same that I do taking like 4 trades a week, then that's the ideal for me. Less exposure, more reward. Like that's the goal. That should be the goal. Because even if it is an A+ setup, every time you press that button, you are risking a chance of a loss. It is a possibility. So, want to be stacking the odds as much in your favor as possible. Because even this right here, like you can say this is like a 2022 model, or an IFEG if you took it off the IFEG here, or this 2022 model, a little reach into this gap. But what do you have here? Now you have price just chopping back and forth, 15-minute candle. Can't really make a decision yet, so it's really not in your best interest to sit through something like this. And there's usually a clue in the 15-minute chart when this happens. But we got about 16 minutes till PMI. So we'll see if anything comes through PMI, guys. If it does, we may see like a little 2022 model. That'd be nice to see, but honestly, that is a lot of time in between now and then. So if I see it just stay in the same place for 15 minutes, I will probably lose interest in that. And I'm already starting to lose interest right now, so very, very much just chopping back and forth here. It'd be nice to see this 4-hour candle engulf though, off this order block. That would kind of clear us up in terms of if it's going to reach for the daily order block or this fair value gap. Right now we're still coming off the reaction of that daily wick consequent encroachment. And we're just making our way back up here. We also have a 15-minute order block right here. But honestly, if we get up here, it's probably more likely we'll draw to that daily level. You can see it running now. And again, guys, it is moving, but it isn't moving from where I wanted it to when I wanted it to move. So it's not about whether it moves without you or whether it doesn't. It's about, did it give you the price you wanted at the time you wanted, and did it move when you wanted it or when you were expecting it to? If the answer is no, then you didn't really catch a A+ setup. And it's not really your setup. So we're just going to go ahead and wait it out, guys. 10 a.m. we have PMI, so we're just going to wait for that. Just grab a drink of water, grab some coffee if you want to, guys. Just going to reply to a couple messages, and then we'll see what PMI brings. What's going on, Smoke? Good to see you, bro. Good to see you. Got Smoke in the chat. Congrats on the payout too, bro. And the funded. I've been seeing your progress in the Discord, my man, and you are killing it so far. So looks like these next couple quarters are gonna be some good ones, bro. Did you ever end up buying that Apex account too? I know you said you were about to potentially start on some Apex accounts. Said, thanks, bro. I'm now fully locked in now. Risk management on point. Amazing, brother. Amazing. Bought 10 and passed 6 accounts. Beautiful, bro. Beautiful. I forgot what the payout policy is on Apex, but should be seeing some beautiful payouts now. Some big payouts now. So, congrats, brother. Congrats, congrats. And you still got that other funded account too, so all you got to do now is just connect them all, and pretty soon you'll be in the 10, 20 account bracket. Especially after you activate those and start to get some payouts, it's all just like a snowball from there. As soon as you get those first 5 to 10, if you're consistent and you remain consistent, it should just be like a steady upward trajectory from there. So, amazing. It's crazy, bro. All of you guys are getting funded now. First it was Swift and Riker. Then it was Salva. And DJ even got funded. And now Smoke is funded. We got a couple of you other guys in there that are pretty close to that mark. So my goal is to get everybody in the Discord funded, guys. But Smoke's been consistent. He's been showing up pretty much every day. There hasn't really been a stream where he hasn't been here. So it's just a testament, guys. If you put in the work, if you stay patient, if you continue to refine your system, your risk management, pretty soon, sooner or later, guys, you will be making life-changing money. You'll be getting payouts, getting fundeds. It'll feel easier than ever. Let's see. 13 viewers in the chat, guys. W first stream back. Appreciate you guys being here. Not sure what this XP thing on the live stream is. Got a lot of new features on here. Oh, I think it's whenever you comment on the chat. Man, I am falling asleep, guys. I'm not even gonna lie. Need some more coffee. Also, if I sound a bit tired or I'm speaking a little slow today, guys, it's just because I got like 2 hours of sleep last night. Flight came in super late, so I am a little bit moving a little slower than usual. It'll be interesting to see if price continues to price up leading into PMI. We still have those daily levels up here. Daily order block, 4-hour fair value gap. But so far, we're finding some decent respect of the 15-minute order block here. So we'll see if this fair value gap holds here on the 1 minute. Gonna go ahead and delete this. Actually, I'm gonna just leave it on there just in case we reclaim it. Was an area where price was pretty indecisive. Six minutes till news, guys. 6 minutes till PMI. Think this thing might just shoot straight up during PMI. But we could also see it reach up into one of these daily levels and then go ahead and sell off from there. It'll be interesting to see what type of reaction we get. But honestly, based on the 4-hour levels right now, if we close like that, it's looking like we'll probably just shoot up. We may want to retrace for this 4-hour order block / IFEG after that. But from there, we should just shoot straight up if we're going to continue this movement. Five more minutes here, guys. 5 more minutes. You can see the 15-minute candle tapering off here. Is going to be interesting to see if we just go ahead and remain in the range. It's kind of why I said initially I wasn't a huge fan of price action this morning, just because whenever we're so tightly bound in the range like that, it's kind of difficult for price to run for any type of external liquidity. So even if you did get in those buys down there, with the stop loss you would have gotten, you're probably only sitting at about a 1-to-1 or a 1-to-1.5. And it's been several minutes. And the previous two 15-minute candles are looking pretty indecisive. So whenever that happens, it's usually a good indication that you got to wait for price to close outside of the range. Or run for an external liquidity, and then you can look to take a setup from a higher time frame level. But when it's in the range, you can't necessarily anticipate when it's going to leave it, if it's going to stay, if it's going to keep ranging, or if it's going to pick a direction. So if you put on a position during that, you're kind of at the mercy of all the little levels of liquidity that it might react to. Which is not to say you can't squeeze out a nice little scalp, but for me personally, I've found that I do like to wait for the more prolonged moves, the lower resistance liquidity. So we're getting locked in, guys. The goal this month is to take the least amount of trades that I've ever taken, but to just maximize the fuck out of the RR. So my goal this month is to only take super A+ setups, those runs that give you a nice like 2R, 3R, potentially even 4 or 5 on the runner. And if I can help it, only teeing off of higher time frame levels in terms of points of interest, or waiting for a clear higher time frame draw on liquidity. So if I see a nice daily draw on liquidity, I don't necessarily need a daily level to tee off of. There's a solid 15-minute point of interest with a solid daily draw on liquidity, then I'll go ahead and tee off of that. Or if I have like a 15-minute draw on liquidity, but I have a super solid daily point of interest, I'll tee off of that. And if I have both on both ends, then you know I can most definitely tee off of that. So we're going to run this experiment. We'll do this for a solid month. And then I'm going to see, are my results better taking far less trades per month, but only focusing on the super, super confirmed setups? Or is it better when I take small scalps in between with some higher time frames and, B plus setups mixed with A plus? So we're just going to see, guys. Hitting a little bit of a plateau in my trading right now, so just seeing if we can maximize results with this new method. You can see a huge gap down from the news, guys. Not really a big fan of whenever price does that, to be honest with you. It does make it a bit difficult to interpret where it's going to go next whenever it does that. The only info we have is technically that's an inverted fair value gap now. And we did close respecting the 4-hour order block, but we also gapped down a huge amount. We do have somewhat of a 5-minute 2022 model going on though. So we may see it run up from here. But honestly, guys, not a huge fan. So PMI, guys, PMI has opened. Probably just going to sit out for the day because never a big fan of when it just decides to gap down for the news. But we may at some point today end up taking that daily level, daily order block, potentially the 4-hour fair value gap as well. And if we continue down, probably retrace to at least the 4-hour fair value gap down here. But do be cautious, guys, because we could also remain in a consolidation today. So just going to depend how the news event finishes out. As of now, guys, not too interested in price. So probably just going to be on my merry way for today. Wait for some better price action. But I appreciate everybody joining today, guys. We are back. So not sure if I'm going to trade tomorrow, but I'm definitely going to be trading Thursday. So if I do not see you guys tomorrow, I will see you guys back here on Thursday. So peace out, you guys. Appreciate you being here. Congrats to you, Smoke, again, for the new fundeds, for the new Apexes, and the rest of you guys. Keep it up, keep trading, and be safe. I'm out.